Good morning, my friends. Happy Wednesday. Back to another coffee and a card with Barb live, who actually has her coffee today. So maybe I'll make more sense. The last couple of coffees, I've been challenged to drink more water. And it really wasn't a challenge, it was a command. And so I've done a thing where I have to drink 16 ounces of water before I can have my coffee. And it was a disaster last week, if you were here last week. But today I have my coffee and I have a card sketch for you that was actually another challenge for me. I was challenged to use a particular type of designer series paper. And I have to tell you, it was a real challenge. So today's card is based on that challenge. And I can't wait to show it to you and see what you think, because it was a difficult one for me. I'm not going to lie. But if you're catching the replay, hello, hello. If you're here live, let me know in the comments. And I'm going to get started in just a few minutes. I can't wait to share this card sketch with you. So hang with me for just a minute and then we'll get started. Okay, so let me show you what we're using today. Simply said, of course, that's our sentiment. And I am using the stylish shape dies. And I just wanted to say that we need a 1¼ inch circle. So if you have a 1¼ inch circle punch, use that. It's going to be a lot faster, not necessarily easier, but definitely a lot faster because you don't have to pull out your cut and emboss machine. But I am using the second smallest die. You could actually, on this card sketch, make your circles any size you want, but I wanted to do 1¼ because, all right, so let me tell you what's going on today, friends. This is going to be an interesting experience. Let me move over here because I got a call from a customer who is, I don't want to say beside herself, but she wasn't very happy because she had bought a ton of designer series paper. Now, this is the I think it's Turtley Cool or Turtley Awesome. And she knew what to do, obviously, with this side, but she didn't know what to do with all of these because she does a scrapbook and she felt like they were too big for a card. So she has all of these left over. She used these sides pretty well, but she had just a ton left over. And she said, Barb, I don't know what to do with it. I just bought the sweet bugs. They're the same. They're a little bit easier because I can cut them out and use them, but help. What do I do? And she said, on Coffee and a Card one time, could you please make a card that shows me how I can use that paper without it driving me crazy? And I said, sure, I can. So I have to be honest and say the Turtley Awesome paper was not my favorite. I bought the set. I actually bought the whole suite because I have 3 friends that absolutely adore turtles. And I've made great use out of this paper because I send them cards because they're turtle lovers, right? Makes sense. However, I have a ton of this paper left over. What I showed you was just the smaller pieces that I have. And I could have used the sweet bugs and that would have been super easy to do this card, but I thought, no, she challenged me. So I'm going to go for this. And I am using just all the scrap pieces that I have left. And I am using garden green cardstock. I don't use this card very often, but it's the great color to go with this paper that I'm using. So it was good to use it because, like I said, I don't use it very much. So today's card is all about using product that you already own, that you've used very little. So you have a ton left and you don't have any really strong opinions about what you're going to do with this product. So this is my challenge for you today. And I would love it if you have time, if you make a card using this sketch, because it's super easy, and some paper that you haven't used, not because you're hoarding it, but because you really don't want to use it. Every now and then, you know, guys, I've bought paper many times where I love one side, but the other side, not so much. So, and that was kind of the case in this one. All right, so this is the turtley paper. This is the other side. You can see all the turtles. And let me move this up so you can see it, hopefully. Oops, it would help if I put it in. And these are like kind of like the shells of a turtle. And I always had trouble figuring out what the heck to do with that. I do like the colors in this paper. I'm going with the garden green and pool party. I also could have used shaded spruce, which actually is one of my favorite greens, but I thought for this background, I liked garden green better. And I'm on a roll, guys. This is the third week in a row that I am layering my focal mat on top of a layering cardstock that's only 1/8 of an inch. So I'm kind of proud of myself. I'm getting better at that on camera. So don't forget to grab the tutorial, #coffee47. Now what I've done is I've taken those little pieces of paper and I've used the Stylish Shapes 1 1/4 die, like I said, because I can't find my 1 1/4 circle punch. If you have a 1 1/4 circle punch, that will be a lot easier. And what I've done is I've just gone into the paper and I have cut out little pieces from the paper, you know, just randomly. So that's the other important thing. Don't overthink it. Just randomly cut some out. And I did want one of my friends who likes turtles has a birthday coming up. So here's your birthday card early, my friend. But what I did is I cut out 5 circles. And then what I'm going to do, and 2 of them have, well, really 3 of them have birthday images. And then that's all I could find that would punch out. So what I'm going to do is and I did put them on Stampin' Dimensionals, which honestly, as you guys know, I got to figure out what's going to go where before I do this. That's a birthday. That's a birthday. That's a birthday. Let's do that. Okay. So one of the challenges with paper like this is finding the images you want. But like I said, don't overthink it. Just grab some images. And it will help if you put the images on kind of a neutral background. And one of the issues with this background paper is that there really isn't a neutral background. This was as neutral as I could find. So we're going with it. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to layer these 5 circles on. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that I am uber challenged with doing things straight. So I'm just eyeballing it and I'm not going to worry. Okay, that's the important thing. I'm just going to eyeball it and I'm not going to worry. Because where I'm going to spend most of my time is writing a message for her on the inside for her birthday. And if I do both images on the outside first and then work into the center, it's a little bit easier for my brain. And this is round. I just happened to catch a dark edge of the next image. And so it looks like I didn't do a full circle, but I did. Now, one of the advantages to using the Simply Said, and I don't know if you could see it, is it's got, instead of a punch, is it's got those really nice stitching around the edge. So that made it kind of fun. And then what I'm going to do, I'm just going to overlap them. Put some flowers in there. So she has a nice spring April birthday. So I thought all of these images fit. Ooh, That could have been disastrous. And I'm just going to line that up here. Okay, so far so good. I don't know why I'm so far out of camera range today, guys. I'm sorry. And then I've already stamped the Simply Said birthday because you guys have seen me do that a bazillion times. And like I said, it's bad enough having to watch me put on things with Stampin' Dimensionals, but at least this is a little bit faster. And this is just a 1/2 inch wide. And I'm going to put that right here. Yep, that's good. Now, doesn't get much faster than that, does it? But a good card sketch. Now, I used, as I said, 1 1/4. You could use 1 1/2, 1 3/4, or even up to 2 inches and just do 3. I do think it looks better if you can use odd numbers of circles. The other thing you could do, and I've used this card sketch forever. This was one of the first card sketches that Stampin' Up! Did in one of our catalogs. And I always seem to come back to this card sketch because it's just so easy. Plus, I have a lot of paper like this that I don't know how to use. So, okay, so now that could be the end of my card, but that was a little bit too easy. So what I did was I brought out my Pearls of Beauty. Boy, don't I use these all the time. Yes, I do. But I could have used the Calypso Coral because this is Poppy Parade, so it's close enough. But because this background is so, I don't know, in your face, I'm going to use the white, which is kind of fun. And they are pearlescent. So I don't know if you could see it. It never shows up on camera ever. But the white really are iridescent. They really sparkle on a real life card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, let me put these here. I'm going to take a big one and I'm going to put the big one right here. And then I'm going to take a small one and I'm going to put that right here. And then I'm going to take another big one, put that right here. Let me grab a small one right there. And then I'll tell you after I've done this. And then I'm going to take a big one and I'm going to put it here and take a small one and put it here. And there we have our embellishments. Now, some of you may say, Barb, you broke your rule. And my design rule, because I am not an artist, guys, I am a quick and easy card maker. And one of the things that I always struggle with is where to put all these little embellishments. Let me bring that up so you can see them. So I've got 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. And that also does make a triangle. But I use 6, which is an even number, which is very unusual for me. But in reality, this is a grouping of 3. Okay. And that's why it works for me. And I really wish you could see this in person because, oh my gosh, these just add the sparkle. The other thing you could do if you wanted on these images, I could add Wink of Stella so that they sparkle, and that would work great. Okay. So there you have it, my friends. Like I said, I was challenged on this card. And I have to tell you, when I first challenged myself, I went, I don't know if I could do this. This is hard. But you know what? It wasn't. It was super easy. And what made it super easy is, number one, use a paper or a side of a paper that you know you're never going to use on a card because it's way too busy. And number two, don't think about it. Just punch out some images and stick them on a card. And number three, it doesn't matter what side the circle. It does not matter which size the circle, but make sure that you do it in odd groupings, and that will help focus the card, if you will. So, okay, my friends, thanks for joining me today. I hope my challenge for you wasn't too boring, but I actually do challenge you to try this technique with the supplies that you already own. If you don't have a circle punch or a die that has circles in it, cut squares. They work too. In fact, what you could do is just cut squares with your paper trimmer and rotate it what would it be, 45 degrees, and turn it into a diamond. And that looks cute too. So you don't need special things. Just have fun. Okay. All right, my friends, I'll be back next week with another coffee and a card. Talk to you later, my friends. Have a great creative day. Bye.